Greetings and salutations. I'm Christopher Platt, reporting for Your Black World News with an article from the Atlanta Black Star. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com to learn about financial literacy and how you can grow your business today. The white Chicago officer who gunned down a black teenager in 2014 was sentenced Friday to nearly 7 years in prison, ending an explosive case that was centered on a graphic dashcam video and added fuel to debates about race and policing and law enforcement's quote-unquote code of silence. Jason Van Dyke was convicted last year of second-degree murder and 16 counts of aggravated battery, one for each bullet fired at Laquan McDonald. Moments before learning the sentence, Van Dyke acknowledged the teen's death, telling the judge that, quote, "As a God-fearing man and father, I will have to live with this for the rest of my life," end quote. The sentence was less than half of the penalty that had been sought by prosecutors, who asked for 18 to 20 years. But it went far beyond the request of defense attorneys, who argued that Van Dyke could be released on probation. Judge Vincent Gaughan predicted that no one involved in the case would be pleased with his final decision. "I assume 100% of people will be disappointed," he said. The judge did not characterize Van Dyke's decision to open fire, saying only that it changed both McDonald's and Van Dyke's families forever. "That shame," he said. "You can see the pain on both families. This is not easy." After the judge's announcement, Van Dyke's father said, "They threw him underneath the bridge." His older daughter began crying and said, "I want him home." Earlier in the day, several black motorists testified that he used a racial slur and excessive force during traffic stops in the years before the 2014 shooting. One of those witnesses, Vidal Joy, said Van Dyke used a racial slur after pulling him over in 2005, and at one point put a gun to Joy's head. He said Van Dyke looked infuriated and seemed out of his mind. Under cross-examination, Joy acknowledged that he did not allege Van Dyke used a slur in his first accounts of the stop. Another witness, Ed Nance, struggled to maintain his composure as he looked across the room to identify Van Dyke. Testifying about a 2007 traffic stop, he said the officer cursed and slammed on the car's hood, grabbed him by the arms, and pulled him to the squad car. Hours later, Van Dyke's relatives tried to defend and humanize him, saying he's a good father and husband who goes out of his way to help and who is not racist. The issue of race has loomed over the case for more than 4 years, although it was rarely raised at trial. One of the only instances was during opening statements, when Special Prosecutor Joseph McMahon told jurors that Van Dyke saw a black boy walking down the street who had the audacity to ignore the police. Friday's testimony came a day after a different judge acquitted 3 officers accused of trying to conceal what happened to protect Van Dyke, who was the first Chicago officer found guilty in an on-duty shooting in half a century, and probably the first ever in the shooting of an African American. At the sentencing, McDonald's uncle read a letter written from the slain teen's perspective, telling the court that Van Dyke killed him without provocation. "I am a 17-year-old boy, and I am a victim of murder," Marvin Hunter said. "I am unable to speak in my own voice because an officer thought he would become judge, jury, and executioner." In asking for a long sentence, Hunter added, "Why should this person who ended my life forever, who has never asked for forgiveness, be free when I'm dead forever?" Van Dyke's wife said her life has been a nightmare since her husband was charged. She said she was denied a job and her daughter was not accepted into a dance group because of their last name. "If Van Dyke goes to prison," she said, "her biggest fear is that somebody will kill my husband for something he did as a police officer, something he was trained to do." She looked up over her shoulder and addressed the judge directly. "His life is over. Please, please. He's paid the price already. I beg for the least amount of time." "I was afraid every day coming in and out of this courthouse that somebody was going to shoot and kill my husband," Tiffany Van Dyke said, adding that they pray every single day for McDonald's family. This will be the last time that they see their father before he goes to prison, she said of bringing her kids to the sentencing. They need to be able to see him, physically. During her testimony, Van Dyke wiped his nose and eyes with a tissue while seated at the defense table in a yellow jail jumpsuit. One of his daughters blamed the media for shaming police officers for quote-unquote doing their jobs. Kaylee Van Dyke, also 17, said the media twist events, making people create negative thoughts. She said police officers don't care about people's color. They care about your safety. She also said she regrets all the times she didn't hug her father. Keith Thompson described his brother-in-law as a gentle giant and not a monster. Thompson, who's black and whose wife is the sister of Van Dyke's wife, said he has never seen anything to indicate that Van Dyke is racist in the 13 years they've been acquainted. Van Dyke's sister, Heidi Kauffinger, told the court that her brother has been abandoned by family and friends since he was charged. She begged the court for mercy and said if her brother goes to prison, the family will lose everything. She says Van Dyke's 2 daughters have been bullied and that the older one even had the words 16 shots written on her desk in school. On Thursday, Cook County Judge Dominica Stevenson cleared former officer Joseph Walsh, former detective David March, and Officer Thomas Gaffney on charges of obstruction of justice, official misconduct, and conspiracy. Stevenson accepted the argument that jurors in the Van Dyke case rejected, that the video that sparked protest and a federal investigation of the police force was just one perspective of the events that unfolded on the South Side. The judge said the video showed only one viewpoint of the confrontation between Van Dyke and the teen armed with a small knife. She found no indication the officers tried to hide evidence or made little effort to talk to witnesses. The evidence shows just the opposite, she said. She singled out how they preserved the graphic video at the heart of the case. The judge, in her ruling, rejected prosecution arguments that the video demonstrated officers were lying when they described McDonald as moving even after he was shot. An officer could have reasonably believed an attack was imminent, she said. It was borne out in the video that McDonald continued to move after he fell to the ground and refused to relinquish a knife. The video appeared to show the teen collapsing in a heap after the first few shots and moving in large part because the bullets kept striking his body for 10 more seconds. The footage showed Van Dyke opening fire within seconds of getting out of his police SUV and continuing to shoot the teen while he was lying on the street. Police were responding to a report of a male who was breaking into trucks and stealing radios on the city's south side. City Hall released the video to the public in November of 2015, 13 months after the shooting, and acted only because a judge ordered it to do so. The charges against Van Dyke were not announced until the day of the video's release. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to share this video and let us know what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Your Black World YouTube channel and visit theblackbusinessschool.com today. I'm Christopher Platt reporting. Until next time, shalom.